Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. Hello, everybody. So glad to be here with you again for an amazing Spiritual Rockstar show podcast episode. So you get me, 1,000% me today. I'm so grateful to share with you today. We're going to talk about clearing shame and guilt around selling in your business. Is a very common energy that comes up for, I would say, most spiritual entrepreneurs for sure. And so we're going to spend time addressing that issue and doing some clearing work on it. And I know that it's going to definitely empower you in a big way.
Do you want to meditate and make money? Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation today.
So let's go ahead and dive in. Let's talk about the topic briefly, and then I'm going to go into a clearing process with you to get support on it. We'll see how that wants to come through today. Typically, I might do some channel messages or I might just do a channel of prayer, or I might send some energy healing frequencies, or all of it together, right? So however wants to happen, meditations, etc. So we're going to be spontaneous today on how that wants to happen. All right, so let's get into this piece around this almost universal feeling that spiritual entrepreneurs have of a nagging guilt or shame around selling in your business. It's very interesting, right? We purchase goods and services from others all the time, right? So we go out in the world and we partake in the money system. We give of our money to other coaches. We give, in some cases, most people are coaches, healers, trainers, or teachers that listen in, but some of you are spiritual entrepreneurs at large in other ways. But we freely share our money with others that are selling something, right? They're selling something to us. And it's so interesting that we do experience judgments of people that sell at times, right? So our used car salesman types, the pushy salesman, if we feel that we like something or love a product, but we think it's overpriced, we might, okay, it's too much, but I love it too much. I don't want to let go of it. I wish they would lower the price, but I'll do it. Maybe we don't feel so good then. Maybe sometimes we buy things because of our environmentally conscious, aware sensitivity, consciousness kicks in. We might be like, these companies should stop selling these products or change them, and then we buy them. And we buy them anyway, right? But we think they should not, produce them anymore. So I find that hilarious when we do that to ourselves. It's just crazy. I mean, you want it not to be produced anymore, don't buy it. Okay, that's a whole other topic. But so we might feel some weird energy there sometimes, right? But just generally speaking, when we go to buy things, I mean, the only other such situation, there's more and more. Like there's the idea of like, I don't want to give my money to Facebook or Google or these people. I don't like what they're doing, whatever. So, but then sometimes we do it anyway. So it's all very interesting. There's many more, I'm sure, situations where we're investing our money in things that we say we're not for, and we invest anyway. When we go to make the purchase, usually, or the investment, sometimes we regret it. Yeah, we do. Sometimes we regret it. But I would say almost, 70+% of the time we blame ourselves, right? sometimes we blame the marketer or the seller, like, oh, they false promises or whatever. Sometimes that happens, and it's like a shame on them thing, right? But it's interesting that it's a low percentage. I mean, there's many transactions we make, we're totally happy with. We're just grateful that we can make the purchase, hopefully. I mean, like, that's how I look at it. Like, oh my God, these products or these things that are available that I can use that are um, helpful to me or my family or whatever. That these things exist to serve the world, the charities, organizations, individuals, businesses, or whatever. They're standing for something that I'm for whatever reasons. And I don't have any animosity towards, anybody. So, but there's a certain level of animosity we may have in certain instances, right? So it's pretty interesting. But when it comes to combining, again, the idea of combining spirituality with money and then with the idea of selling, we get really heebie-jeebie about it. Because most of you are doing something probably that's more spiritually oriented, you're sharing in the world. And we've been told, that we're, spirituality and money don't go together, right? So I've talked about that on this show a number of times. Hey, a camel's got a better chance of walking through the eye of a needle than a rich man getting into heaven. Um, Again, another distortion of the Bible that, that's not what they're trying to say at all. Just you're rich in your ideas, how can you possibly experience the state of heaven here on earth or beyond this earth when you're non-physical, right? So it's a false message. Now, could you be some crazy salesperson that has no integrity and all? Yeah, I guess maybe. Most of you aren't hardly even capable of that. Even if you tried, you just wouldn't be able to do it. I'd say, if anything, you need to embrace the sense that you're just some crazy salesperson and that you might, oversell and all that. Like, some of you probably could do well with that. I remember having shame and anxiety and worries about selling when I first started, especially. And I didn't sell then, obviously I was too overburdened with my sense of that maybe I'd be just after their money or manipulating them or what have you. And um, I just found that people were upset at me because then I couldn't pay my bills. I got bill collectors that are upset with me. You're no good because you can't pay me or whatever, right? So now, if I'm looking for guilt or shame, I can feel guilty and shameful about that, right? But if I sell and I make money, now maybe I better feel guilty and shameful about it because now I made them give me the money. And I like all this craziness around the idea of selling and money and all this stuff. Selling, what is selling anyway, right? So let's get down into talking about these things. So selling is, okay, from my viewpoint, the way I like to share about it today, selling is simply making the case for someone to be a yes to something. That's all selling is. I mean, you're making the case for it. I mean, lawyers are definitely salespeople in the courtroom. They're trying to make their case. Even the most damned, the so-called most damned, being or energy in the world still gets counsel, gets counsel and gets someone, an advocate for them. And I think it's right. I think it's correct. They should be able to have someone sell their side, whether it's real or not. But like, every side should be able to have a voice. Whoever got this idea that even if it's distorted, even if it's for nefarious purposes, that voice shouldn't be able to express itself? Who came up with this idea? I mean, I mean, it's okay if you feel that that's the way it should be, but I don't see it that way. I think that everything should be able to have its expression, even the craziest things. And the reason why is because if you suppress it, if you outlaw it, it's like anything else. Most of the time, it'll find all the time, okay, in one way or another, all the time, that energy will just go somewhere else and probably create more problems, right? So, if people are against abortion, for example, okay, let's outlaw it. All right, then people are still getting abortions, and now they're more dangerous, right? That's what we found out about that. Or no more alcohol. Then you got the speakeasies, and it's not. Now people aren't. Tax money isn't being collected. Well, we could be making money on this. Why, and then all the problems that could lead to, which I'm not fully aware of, to be honest. But I just know, like, revenue wise for our governments. But so it just goes underground in one way or another. You say, well, no, Daniel, they outlaw this or that in the world, and it actually worked, and then that issue didn't exist anymore. If you could find me example, I could probably even think of one. That's fine. Okay, that happened, but that undertow, that energy didn't go away. It's rearing its ugly head somewhere else. It's that whole thing of, like, you push the energy down. Like, hey, we don't want that. Squash it. All right, it's not coming up in this one spot in our consciousness or in our world or in our experience anymore. Then and it goes into shadow, right? It goes into shadow and it pops up somewhere else, right? Because we haven't been willing to listen. We haven't been willing to hear it. And when we're selling, this could be a very long subject we get into, but with our own selling, the thing is we need to be willing to be salespeople for ourselves. And a lot of times we're not even doing that. We're not even making a good pitch for ourselves, to ourselves, much less anybody else. And I think that part of it is about, well, who am I? I'm no better than other people or whatever, all those. I want to try to act like I'm better than other people. So why would I sell for myself? It's a whole misconception. It's not that you're trying to say you're better than everybody else all the time. In marketing, maybe you're in selling, maybe you're saying, hey, I'm one of a kind, or I'm unique, or I'm unlike what you'll find elsewhere in the world, because there's a level of truth to it. I mean, um, but if you wanted to go crazy and you say, no, I'm the world's best pizza, no doubt about it, and everybody would agree. And you want to say, okay, people will know could know you're lying, but if they like your pizza, they'll still buy it, right? I'm not saying it's the right way to market or the wrong way, but to say you can't market that way, I think is iffy. If you want to make about too many rules on things, that's okay. That's a whole nother discussion. But I think the ability to express and to coming back to being enrolling for yourself, like, double down on that. That's why a lot of times I have a program called Clear Your Own Energy program, for example. I do 30 days of clearing of your energy in every area of your life, and people love it. People get into it often, and the majority of people, nearly everybody, wants to keep listening to it once they get into it. Because it's very energizing, it's very helpful, and it's enrolling them in themselves, is what the channel, we might do some of that today. It's rolling them in themselves, and then they learn how to do that for themselves. They do their own channel prayers, and I teach them how to do that. And they're learning to enroll themselves into whatever they want to enroll it. It's like sales. It's sales. When you do healing, you're doing sales in a way. Like, you're turning on presence. You're like, I want the presence, not the separation. I'm making the case for presence by being in the presence and sharing the presence. Maybe it's not the same as sales, but it's often it can be similar, or almost exactly the same. So selling people on something that will be a benefit to them, even if no money was involved, most people would say, yeah, I agree with that. But you still might be hesitant. Who am I to encroach on someone else's consciousness? But we're meant to interact. We're meant to sell to each other. We're meant to mix it up. That makes the energy dynamic. And holding back too much on that, again, it's going to create suppressed energy that's going to create problems for ourselves and others. Like for me, I wasn't selling, like I wasn't willing to sell and make money. Fine. All right. Now I got people are upset with you because you need things from the world and you can't pay them. And yet, you have to do, and then if you get everything for free, then you become what they call a freeloader, right? People see you as a freeloader. You might start to see yourself that way. You're not contributing, like when you're selling, if you're in business, you have to be selling. Your business has to sell. Otherwise nothing's happening. So there's no shame in it. There's countless businesses that you have bought things from. Most of the time, you have never judged them for being, or if you did, it was a passing judgment. It's what the mind does; it judges things. But for the most part, you're not sitting around judging everything. All these companies constantly, hopefully. So why are we judging ourselves for selling? Well, maybe I could charge too much or make too big of a promise or something like that. Well, why are you not also concerned about making too little of a promise? Well, if you hire me as a coach or healer or trainer or whatnot, and I don't know, it may not go very well, but you might get some benefit, and I really think it'd be a great idea for you. Oh, great. Oh, great. Like, how excited am I to work with this person? Not at all, right? So building excitement and buy-in to something allows people to come in a receptive energy that can help them to perhaps get greater results in some cases. Yeah, if you over exaggerate what something can do, then obviously if they come in and every single time it's not what it is, then you're going to have a lot of people are unhappy. So obviously, you don't want to go to that extreme. But what I'm saying is, like, for most spiritual entrepreneurs, you're almost better off going to that extreme, because a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs are so worried about being in integrity that they're not willing to expand and to share enough. Like even someone I'm working with currently, even still, but I remember, and this person would not have disagreed with me, but in the marketing is like, well, I've learned from the best and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, but you are the best. You are the best. You're the world's best. So in this particular realm, and you need to position yourself, because it's just, it just seems to be true to me anyway. I feel you are the best. And when I was able to say that, that person was able to say, oh, you know what? I agree with that. So whereas before, oh, I've learned from the best. Well, whatever. A lot of people have learned from the best, but this person had gone beyond that, incorporated more of herself than what she just learned. So we could undersell very easily. Often we're underselling and not selling enough. There's definitely a lot of exaggerated claims in the marketplace by spiritual, non-spiritual people. Those people exist. They seem like there's a lot of them because the ones that are doing it well are sharing their message like crazy, right? So it seems like it's everywhere. But then there's the huge 90 to 99% of people that are way underselling all the time and are not articulating what they're up to very well. And they don't, because of getting back to the shame and guilt, and then we'll do a clearing, is it's the idea that I'm going to get it wrong, right? This idea that's in our brain. It's like, again, the basal survival brain is connected to the shame. It's like, you might screw something up. You could get in trouble. They're going to kill you. They're going to lynch you. Because these things have happened, in past lives and whatnot. And society has given us a message through many lifetimes that you better get things right, or you might go to prison, you might need to go to the stockades, you might be punished. We get that even as kids, in this life. Like, you'll have to be punished, you'll have to be grounded, you better listen to me. And so we have that idea that we could get something wrong constantly, first of all. And then money, like to take money from people, is the idea many people get into with their work, especially at first. Hopefully, you move through that, but it could still kind of linger. Like, could I charge too much? Could I get too greedy? Is it too much? Is the value, my value not enough? Well, the funny thing is, everybody I talk to in this space, usually, if you've been working at it for a while, you believe your work is basically priceless. So it has no rational basis, but it's this lurking feeling. And it's the idea that even if you're doing a great job now, couldn't have you done better? Aren't you going to screw it up eventually anyway? It's all going to end in disaster, just like those past lives. So, in the clearing, we're going to clear shame from these multiple sources, past lives, how we're shamed for being who we are, through these lifetimes and in this life, and and being shamed for who we are, because we make the most money when we're being fully who we are. Well, you're just too whatever. I remember I've gone through different phases in my career, so to speak. Gone through phases where I was judged for being too hippy dippy and spiritual. You're too hippy dippy and spiritual. No wonder you're not making more money than you are right now. And then there's times when I've been really squarely focused on sales, really focused on it. And then I would, you would, again, it'd show up as other people's voices, but of course it's in my consciousness. Oh, he's just all about the money, and, he just wants the money. He's just all about sales. Uh, and so could I be too spiritual and hippy dippy? Could I be too much about the sales? Could I? Maybe, I don't know, but the truth is I'm all of it. I'm very spiritual. I'm very much about being enrolling to people to, for their highest benefit. Sometimes I feel weird about being enrolling. Most of the time I don't, but sometimes I still feel kind of weird about it. It's just an awkward feeling still sometimes, but it's not a feeling of like, oh, I'm doing this horrible thing. It just feels like it actually feels fun usually. Primarily, it just feels like it's fun. And now it didn't always. I used to suppress my sales energy completely earlier in my life because I saw how it could lead to problems, right? And that's what we see in the world. Well, we sold the Indians blankets with measles on it or whatever. And then now I've heard that story's not even true. I don't know. I don't know what's true. We sold them on that, or we sold, whatever, one up on somebody and for their advantage. But you're not that, and your relationship with money is not like other people's relationship with money, but you're afraid of it. You're afraid of having that relationship. So it's just the fear, the repressed shadow energy you're not willing to embrace, that keeps you in a sense of a weird shame and guilt around wanting money and wanting to sell, wanting to be enrolling and enjoying all of it. But there's this sense that just as a kid, like you can't have what you want. We're going to take it away because you probably did something wrong. And now, you're going to get less, right? Because that's what's gotten into our subconscious. So anyway, so those are some of the things. This is a very, a lot of these topics I talk about are very deep. We could go on forever about them. But for today, those are some of the aspects I want to talk about. And now we're going to spend some time here going ahead and diving in and doing some prayer and clearing around this, which hopefully maybe you experience some just by, hey, just bringing our voice to things often can be our conscious and awareness to these things that, if we were to talk them out even within ourselves, for ourselves, we start figuring this stuff out like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. And I'm just being that voice today. So let's take it further. Yeah, I'm getting to do it as a channel prayer. So let's go ahead and do a channel prayer. Some people feel my channel prayers really strongly in their energy. If you're empathic, you probably feel the energy or feel it strongly, maybe even. Other people that aren't as empathic, in the extreme case, I've heard people say, I don't feel the energy. I know it's great energy. I can kind of feel it, but not really. So whatever your experience is perfect. Just know that you don't have to feel the energy of whatever is coming through. If you don't feel it, because just it being in your consciousness is going to make a shift for you to clear this shame, this guilt around selling, knowing that you're meant to enroll people into what it is that you're here to serve. There is no other way. And that the issue is more that you're not doing it. If you're fully enrolling people and fully strong as you could be, you wouldn't be feeling guilt and shame. You'd just be feeling amazing. When the guilt and shame came back, of course, we have something to look at there, to examine, take a look at, but it's going to ultimately say more life, more experience, more expansion, more sharing, more selling. And how that selling wants to happen, the quality of it may evolve and grow and change and shift some. And its quality is the quality of your energy shifts and raise, but it's going to want to continue to expand. Okay, so let's go into the full prayer. It's like a prayer in itself. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose, up through your crown chakra, up through your higher self, up to love, light, source, energy, up into the all in all. And as you exhale through your mouth, let energy come back down through your higher self, down through your crown chakra, down through all your chakras, through your physical body, through your field, down through your feet, down through your root chakra, down to the core of the earth. So I speak these words, and the I am for everyone listening. My voice is I recognize God, love, life, source, spirit is all there is. I'm grateful that life wants to experience more of itself through me, not less. I'm grateful for any constricted energies that show up in my life, because it reminds me that I am one with what I'm truly one with, that I'm one with the abundance and the sales and the money that I desire to embrace. And that when guilt and shame and other energies are showing up, it's just telling me to deepen into my true power and my love and the good assery of all that. So I allow the good to flow through me and to be embodied in my being. Therefore, the pesky critters of shame and guilt disappear, because I'm in my body being fully turned on by being as enrolling as possible for the light when the moment it calls for it. And when the moment's called for it, and I'm allowing that to happen. And I'm grateful to cut cords and to all timelines and all past lives where I thought I got it wrong, that I did something wrong, that I put my hand in, this lifetime, other life, put that hand in the cookie jar and get slapped. No, you can't have what you want. Who do you think you are, just taking advantage, taking that cookie? I let go. I let God. If I want cookies, I'll eat them all day long, whatever it is. But if I want to sell all day long, I'll sell. I'll embrace it. I allow myself to be bold and fearless in sharing my message with the world, which is really all the selling is about. From that place, if people want to invest in it financially, they have the opportunity. They want to gain from me freely, they can do that as well through all my marketing and selling and whatever else I offer for freely in the world all the time as a spiritual entrepreneur. I'm grateful to continue to share it and know that I'm whole and well and thriving, because I'm putting a stake in the ground today to experience the wholeness of who I am, that I'm not just putting these energies out, these powerful energies that want to enroll and to support others into some repressed energy into my being, into my repressing the energy, and then it just is creating havoc in my life and keeping me poor and weak in my energy. Instead, I want to experience the full juiciness and aliveness of my body and being, and every cell of my body and being, and allowing myself to triumphantly share my energy in the world in the most expanded way possible, enrolling as many as possible that are wanting to hear my message into what I'm sharing, and creating incredible good in the consciousness through the enrollment, through marketing and sales, knowing that people putting their money into something is just they're saying yes to what I'm saying, to what I'm sharing and the service I have to deliver and the products or whatever it may be. They're just saying yes to it. They're saying yes to it. And I'm grateful that I'm in the intention that's serving their highest good. And I'm in full integrity of it being of the highest good because I'm sharing my highest and greatest gifts with the world. I'm in integrity with what I want to share and sharing my highest gifts in the world. Let myself receive deeply and fully the full frequency of who I am, the full joy, the full love, the full light. No, I am meant to bounce around and have fun and be grounded at the same time, having fun doing all the things I'm called to do creatively and otherwise, sharing my big mission with the world, allowing myself to be lovingly supported in every gorgeous way that occurs to me to be supported. That feels resonant, feels true for me. And I allow myself to be loved and supported as I continue to allow that in my life. I continue to enroll that which I'm here to support and allow myself to be supported in kind, letting it be um, exponential in the expanded energy that's possible for me and all, and therefore exponential all possibilities, including financially, and the amount of love and joy that I'm able to experience. So as I allow all these things to be so, I'm grateful. I'm allowing myself to be the descended master that I am and being embodied in the joy and the turn on energy, to be right direct to the point with who I am and share joyfully and fully in the world, knowing that there's no need to continue to put myself on the cross, symbolically or otherwise, and knowing that I'm not here to be a martyr, but I'm here to serve and share triumphantly and joyfully and successfully in every single way. And I'm grateful to super enroll myself and everything that I want to be true for me and is true for me. It's just is true for me. So I'm willing to enroll. I'm willing to enroll. I'm willing to let go of everything and let things be as well. But I'm willing to enroll. I'm willing to use that quality within me. Let it be divine. Let it serve love and joy and peace and abundance and all great things for humanity. And knowing that I can trust myself, knowing that source is priceless within me. And therefore, what source is given through me is meant to be utilized and thrive and prosper. And it's meant to be a done deal. So I'm saying it is a done deal today. It's already is. It's a done deal. I thrive completely being who I am fully and completely as I am. And from that place, I share all I have to share in the way I'm called to share it through marketing and selling otherwise, and feel amazing about it, knowing that for the right people, it's exactly what they're begging me for right now to hear from me. And I'm sharing fully and completely of myself to fulfill my destiny and the destiny of others for the greater evolution of consciousness and for the richness of the energy that's within it. And I'm grateful to celebrate it and to celebrate receiving, knowing it's safe to receive. It's safe to receive. I'm not being degraded. I'm not being diminished. I'm not being abused. It's not about that. I'm grateful that I'm letting go of any, I didn't do something wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not meant to be invisible. I'm meant to be fully as shiny and sparkly and as amazing and quirky as I am. And I share that with the world. I share my fullness with the world. And I allow myself to super enroll people. And as I do so, I see my business grow tremendously, and joy and fulfillment and the sense of charity and purpose grows. And I'm able to give myself to whatever is calling to me, that calls to my soul. I feel most soul satisfied because I'm being in integrity with who I truly am by doing so. So as I let it be so, I let it be done and thrive infinitely from this space and let it be a done deal. Thank you, God, and so it is. Okay. All right. If you have your eyes closed, you can begin to open them. Coming back to the present moment. And I'm just grateful to share these things with you today and this beautiful prayer coming through me. And I'm just grateful for what comes through each time. And I look forward to doing more of it for you, moving forward. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and keep tuning in. And we'll keep on rocking it here at Spirits for Rockstar Podcast. Till next time, everyone.
Spirits for Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.